stuff that he used to work his way past Brad Tilley has come undone. So up the hill, up Watt Street, rear brakes, slip the car, nerf the tyres. No damage, except to a potential race victory.
See the rear of it tramping away. Let's have a listen to the in-car on the way to the top of Watt Street here. And there it is. Just nudged the tyre wall, and you can see Tilley go past in the rear view mirror. So too did 3 other cars. And the despair of the team down on the wall right now. A victory that has slipped. A live test session for him today as we get underway for the first points pain race of the year, and they fan out to 3 and 4 wide. Into the centre chicane, Bell makes contact into Garwood, into the gravel trap. Hansford's also involved. 3 cars in the gravel trap, and the top 3 contenders, OUT.
He got a great start and went down the inside and just did not get the car slowed down enough, and Adam Garwood had nowhere to go and found a Tirana crunching into his rear quarter. Will go safety car straight away. Adam Bressington from 5th on the grid finds himself in front roll. Harris is second with damage on the right front corner of the EFS Camaro. What a way to start the season. But it never looked like that Tirana was going to stop into the centre chicane.
Adam Garwood, that would have frightened the daylights out of him. Into the gravel trap. There's plenty of gravel there, but it's a very short runoff. And 3 key contenders beached in the centre chicane. Not even 300 metres old into the new season. And
Ryan Hansford, who did such a brilliant job in qualifying yesterday to score his 2nd career TCM pole, smashed the TCM quali record by a second. So Bout right of screen, black and yellow Tirana down the inside, grabs both front brakes. The car's locked up, and Adam Garwood gets turned around and dumped unceremoniously into the gravel trap at the centre chicane. This from Jim Policina.
So he can see it all happening ahead, and there's just smoke screens. Even Cam Tilley was locked up. He gives Tilley a nudge for good measure. He got away with it. Hansford was so unlucky there because he had nowhere to go regardless. Here it is in slow-mo. So the yellow and blue Tirana is in the middle of that shot. Bow comes in with a full head of steam straight into Garwood. And look at Hansford. He can drive as far as he likes, but he's got nowhere to go except the gravel trap.
Ryan's start wasn't good. He was worried about being beaten into turn 1 by Adam Garwood, who's got bigger capacity, more horsepower in the number 85 White Line Racing Chevy Camaro. But his launch wasn't particularly good in the multi-spares Tirana anyway. And Bow went down the inside. But, gee, we've been talking about this drive to 100 race wins in TCM. You can't win a race on lap 1, unfortunately. It happens on, in this case, lap 10. And as a result, he's bunkered in the gravel trap. Adam Garwood, who's been terrific all weekend. Young Tasmanian is stuck down there as well.
What a shame for Bow, stuck in the gravel. 99 wins, not out at the moment. He's in the gravel. We're under safety car here on the streets of Adelaide. Race number 1, the Gulf Western Touring Car Masters. And that is going to be a long process getting the 18 out. They are deep gravel traps here. They've been here for many, many years. The hard-working team that work behind the scenes at the Superloop Adelaide 500 have got 3 customers right now down there in the chicane, Krause.
He got a very, very good start from the 3rd row of the grid and went down the inside and saw the opportunity. But from the moment those both front wheels locked when he applied the brakes to the run into the centre chicane, the car just went straight ahead, and Adam Garwood, who was tipping in, thinking his way was clear and that Ryan Hansford was well behind him, found the Tirana parked in the door of the White Line Racing Chevy, and that's a wing mirror, I think, coming off the Camaro, perhaps, as it gets turned around. And this is Jim Policina's view. Just at the back half of the top 10, Cameron Tilley, just got a little bit of a nudge, I think, from Jim, but nothing in that. Just everybody checking up, staggering. This is the shot that Race Control will look at and decide that it's not a particularly good look indeed, as the Tirana with both front brakes locked. Of course, when the front wheels aren't turning, there's no steering. Car isn't going to turn into the corner. And poor Adam Garwood gets hustled off the road. And just the collateral damage for the EFS Camaro behind, I think that was in all the mess of everybody sorting themselves out. Just got some grazing damage there, and poor old Ryan Hansford just trying to avoid that after a slow start.
Oh, no.
Got caught in there as well. Oh, this isn't good.
Now, the tractor might be getting towed out of here in a second. He's in the middle of trying to pull the Hansford Tirana out without hitting the back of the Painter Dixon Tirana as well.
I think they're making some progress. It's a pretty good ad for how deep the gravel is down there at the centre chicane. Wow. Well, that gravel trap is there for that reason, because it's such a high-speed approach and a big stop, and when something goes wrong, you want something to slow the cars down. There it goes.
He's got it done now. So while the safety car is out here, we'll take a look at last year's incidents, and there was plenty to talk about in season 2019 of the Touring Car Masters that started right here in Adelaide with Leo Tobin glancing the wall once on the left-hand side, but really hard on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it was that second impact that was the worst one for Leo, who's back in the field this weekend, scored 13th at the moment.
Aaron McGill.
Oh, this was the moment of the year, wasn't it? In the first race, somehow managed to drag that back from the abyss. This not so much for Andrew Fisher, who had a pretty rotten year, crash, that amazing finish at Winton, see that in a sec, and a whole array of engine dramas in the GTHO as well.
That's been a great track for him over the years, Andrew Fisher. This was the big one down at Phillip Island with Rob Hackwood, who was helicoptering, if that's a word, down the back straight, getting connected with Ryle Harris. And it shows you the speed these cars carry at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Lucky not to have more cars in, several cars taking to the grass on the right-hand side.
Just check the Oxford Dictionary, helicoptering, that works, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
And another great job to get that car repaired. This was the finish we all talked about all season long, the end of the trophy race in the rain at Winton. Neither driver knew it was the last lap of the race. They were dicing for position, and Bruce Williams created Air Holden, Air Tirana.
Incredible.
Yeah, amazing finish. The closest winning margin for Andrew Fisher in the history of the Gulf Western Oil Touring Car Master Series.
I know we laugh at it, but that could have been really bad.
Yeah, it could. We made light of it when we knew everyone was okay, as you often do in moments like that. Big spin, that was Adam Garwood. This was his first weekend, or second weekend, I should say, in the 85 car for White Line Racing. After a competitive weekend at Queensland Raceway, Danny Bazadzik was in the mix at Chevy Monza. We'll see that car again with Ben Dunn later on this season. It's a cool addition to the grid. And then how about this one?
Alan Bougen, the longest Touring Car Masters entry we have, getting sent exit stage right at the start of the trophy race up there at QR last year. Watching the right-hand side, scattering the polystyrene signs, and found the tyre wall, but managed to continue on in the race.
It's a remarkable story. One of many, it must be said, in what was a pretty remarkable year.
What a weapon
for Touring Car Masters. And I know our Bougen and his team are watching from home up in Queensland, so we wish them well. And then the final round of the year at the great Sandown International Raceway, and poor old Cameron Tilley just had the lose on the exit of turn one in really greasy conditions. Looped the Anglemoor Pacer, and Rob Hackwood found himself with nowhere to go. Big damage to the point where the repair was only completed Sunday night for Cameron Tilley to get it back on track.
Well, John Bowes back on track, but damage to his right front, and he'll be heading back to the pits. We'll do the same with Andy Jones.
Gents, I thought I'd just...
He went to my driving school, he did, yeah, he learned a lot of good things there. Did he pass? He was, yeah, I suppose he passed, yeah.
Oh, look out!
Oh,
At least he gets a tap on the way through. I wouldn't mind betting the Falcon has expired just at the wrong point.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Whoa, he gets cleaned up.
It'll be a safety car, I'm sure.
Brett Yulden went to make a move on another car, but didn't know he was there and clipped him on the way through on the run to Forest's Elbow. Yellow flags will be on display. He wants to get out of here as soon as he can, but everybody knows that there's a drama. And this is Greg Crick.
If he'd had an ejection seat, he would have gone for it.
The charges stopped as well, so dropping like flies on this second lap. Brad Tilley still leads the way.
It's got to be a safety car. Although he's got that out of the road.
Plenty of damage to the Sydney's. Oh, Gavin Willis and Tony Evans.
It's picnic time in the turf.
The Porsches will be looking good if they keep dropping out like this. What on earth is going on?
Oh, they're just having a ball. They are having a ball.
Tilley leading, Mediki next, then John Bow. Adam Bressington's fourth in that blue Camaro. Jimmy Richards up to sixth. Here's the replay. And I'd say the Falcons expired just there.
Just there.
Not Mediki's fault.
No, definitely not.
And then watch for the green Monaro of Brett Yulden. He goes to make a move here on Mark King. Oh, there's a car there. Wow.
I'd say John, and they just did it themselves.
That's where he ends up.
They missed the party up the top, so they thought they'd have one halfway down.
Brad Tilley, he's got a party going. This big Falcon is just charging.
When all that was going on, John Bow would have had eyes like dinner plates.
Oh, but he's Oh, to the cutting.
Now, this will be interesting.
Now, how on earth is he going to turn this thing around? There's nowhere to do a three-point turn.
No, not with a car that long.
Uh-oh, someone else is going around. Oh, I heard tyres screeching, but no one did. Mediki just set the fastest lap of the race, and there's no one there to tell him when there's a gap in the traffic.
No,
either.
and he's followed up with the slowest lap of the race.
Finish this one yet. Gonna wait and watch as the whole field approaches. Out wide.
Yes. He just got in the marbles with that rear right tyre. No grip.
We saw an accident earlier in the Dunlop series where young Aaron Russell ended up in the wall and Mediki's ended up in the same place.
John Bower only needs one more car to expire or spin, and he's hit the lead without passing anyone.
Jim Richards here is up to 5th. He's been chipping his way through. This is an AMC javelin. I don't think we've ever seen a javelin at Bathurst before until now. It's a work of art, though. Anything Jimmy does, he does it properly.
Oh, it's a beautiful looking thing.
Love hearing these things. They're on the rev limiter at the end of Conrod Straight. Now this is, oh, that's Brett Newland. Next lap around, nearly having another crash.
Undrivable and causing them huge setup issues, but they're finally on top of it. This is down the bottom at Murray's Corner, and it's Andrew Fisher, who's had a pretty tough day making his debut in Holden. I wonder if the Ford gods are punishing him for changing brands.
I think that might be the case. Found the tyre wall in the earlier race. He was chasing Peter Burnett just ahead and just locked the rears coming in to Murray's and in front of Cameron Tilley as well. Tilley on the binders and almost got the front of the Tirana, and same too for guess who? Aaron McGill.
What a moment. Just got out of the way. And he started this race on slick tyres, McGill, so that would have been a pretty hairy moment.
Just looking from the top of pit straight. The Jesus number 9, look at Tilley. How close was that? We both closed our eyes here in the commentary box. We don't want to see that pacer with a mark on it. And here he joins the race. Well down the field does Policina. Down the mountain comes Angus Fogg, leading from Steve Johnson, Marcus Sukanovic, and Raul Harris, the top 5, halfway home here on the mountain.
And Fogg's margin 1.8 seconds. Rusty French, Griffin's Bend, trying to get his car turned around. It's completely blind on the exit of that corner. And there's an escape road there that hopefully he can get out of harm's way. There's Brett Yulden just coming into shot. So I think we're all right. Yulden was one of the cars that started this race on slick tyres, so he's out of harm's way. And you can see the rain pouring down. That's at the top of Mountain Straight. So that's 1.8 kilometres in a straight line from where we are. 1.3 kilometres, I should say. It's not raining down the bottom of the pit building here, Matt Nolte, but at the top of Mountain Straight, quite heavy rain.
Let's put a mark at the front of that Sky Sands car as well.
Quite heavy hit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
for the
McGill.
Blundstone Bend barrier.
McGill just loves the highlights, doesn't he? Sideways in the Blundstone Bend, and Musty wasn't really out towards the apex. He wouldn't be in those conditions, and just enough gas to put into the wall on the right-hand side. Thankfully, he's got that car out of harm's way, and we continue on with the race out in front. Angus Fogg with nearly 3 seconds to Johnson. Sukanovic. We go back to this battle now between Bressington and Harris. Bressington forcing it down the inside. Whoa, Harris was lucky. He's on the white lines. He's going down the escape road.
That's bad, obviously, but it's bad from a championship context because he's throwing points away to Stephen Johnson. The Kiwi cars aren't scoring TCM points this weekend. So if Johnson finishes where he is second on the road, he gets the full allocated to 2:16.2. So they're miles off dry weather pace.
Peter Burnett, the Lighthouse Hotel entry down at Forest Elbow. So he might have just got the wall there.
That's a massive shame. He was running 12th, having a super drive, former V8 Ute racer.
There's a lot of them in this category now. It's great to see.
Like with a great migration over, wasn't it?
Yes. New Zealand cars going through the shot and struggling to get that car away from the scene of the incident there at Forest Elbow, dropping down the order to 21st position with 2 laps remaining here.
So superbly with great awareness of everyone around them. We've seen more side-by-side in TCM today. Oh. That had a failure, surely.
Absolutely.
There was a steering issue, a failure. He might have clipped the fence at the dipper on the exit there. And that car just did not turn.
He went to turn left and it just went right on him. And that's why that car is parked down the bottom of the hill here. So it's a long process to get down the hill from that contact, pretty much where Chaz Mostert had that crash in qualifying in the supercars back in 2015. And a second hit ensured that car would take no further part in this race.
It's quite a big impact. No wonder that car was unable to drive away. And we're hearing from race control, they've actually thrown this race one lap early ahead of...
Really through, oh no, and the pacer. It's had a big moment through turn 10 and 11. Judging by the rubber marks, he's had a spin. And has he found the wall in the process? Just when he was inside the top 10 as well. Check the replay. Did he get the curb on the inside? Was there assistance? Well, that battle been raging, and Sukanovic gets into him. Does get the wall. Notice how the wall moved, but there's not a mark on the car.
The pacer didn't, yeah. So wheel to wheel with Sukanovic through that awkward kink at turn 10. And you get through 29 of 30 laps of racing, and you end up parked against a wall on the very last lap of the weekend. He will be gutted with that.
Everybody hustles for positions. Harris will take the lead into Blundstone Bend for the first time. 41 cars, bumper panels between McGill. Car going off the track. It's Andrew Fisher. Fisher into the tyre wall.
Hopefully he can grab reverse and drag that car out.
Already, we've got a bonnet off the Andrew Fisher car.
This is something that you see time and time again over the years. Cars leave the dummy grid area, leave pit lane, bonnet pins aren't in, and away it goes.
There's going to be a mechanic back in the pits tonight who might be feeling a bit sore.
All will be forgiven, I'm sure.
Just not right now. Well played. One of our hard-working officials is going to run off to the car park and see what money he can get for that later on this afternoon. I'm just kidding. We'll go back to the Fisher compound after this. There he is, but if anything, it's going to keep the car air-conditioned for this race. Aerodynamically, it'll be horrible out there. Oh, look, it's broken well and truly away.
Yep.
Car number 9. So 10 laps around this 2.87 kilometre circuit. They've been really, really good since qualifying yesterday. 2 great... Down to 5.
One less opportunity.
This is great racing. Final lap. Rusty French is sitting back and watching this all unfold in front of him. He's seen this all before.
He certainly has.
Mercer down the middle of the track. Here comes Tony Kafer. Look down the inside. Oh, he's got it sideways. He's off the track.
He had to have a look, but I thought it was a little bit ambitious to try and throw it down the inside there. And it's only hurt him. But for Wayne Mercer, it's given him a clean bit of track. 2 corners to go.
Gobbled up by Nick Ross as well. The GDS Monaro off the road at the chase. We've seen a bit of that this weekend.
Always makes you nervous when they come out. He's got off the front dragging on the bottom of his number 20 car now. We saw him at 902 on this at the start of the year. He'll be hoping for that to flick off, or he'll grab the attention of race control just above us here on pit straight. So this will tell us the story, what happened to Sukanovic. Did he lock up coming into turn number 1? Survey would say yes.
Fortunate to not send it down the escape road down to the massive campground there behind Hell Corner. Gathered it up, only dropped a couple of spots. And this is Monaro just off the road. That's no way to treat a GDS 350 HQ. Bouncing it through the undergrowth. He's going to chase to fight another day. Tell you what, Roll Harris has got massive pace at the moment, Matt. He's hauling in the race leader. It was just a brake lock-up. Grabbed the left front, Guy Gibbons, on the run up the hill. This is the ex-Les Walmsley Tony Karamfilowski car. That's a former race winner in the category. Tony Edwards had it for a while as well. It's actually one of the most raced cars in TCM history. So we've got some air.
Sure did. I just get scared when you see him re-enter the course like that. I think his wish might have been granted. Oh, no, it's not. He's had a tyre let go on the main straight. It's peeled the left guard. That's not rubber. That's aluminium that's tearing away and down the escape road. So that was...
I know there's a lot of viewers who tune in. Let's just have a quick replay here. I'm getting worried. Oh, Gary Trull. Oh, no. Oh, has he kept it off the wall? He does. Good job. Not often that you have a spin there and don't end up... It's a win on Sunday here, but that is huge. That's on the exit of the chase, on the run into Murray's Corner at the bottom of Connor. And Andrew's moving around in the car. He's okay. But the left front, that is massive damage. Let's have a look again, Dick. That's a move from George Nittis, getting by Mick Wilson's Charger. He comes back onto the track, and this is... Which way does he go? Oh, no, it's actually the Charger. Just tags Whiteside, who was getting through, and it's just like we saw with the Ute yesterday with Brad Patton. Bouncing off that tyre wall.
Something fell off.
That was strange. He caught the end of the tyre wall, which...
Something fell off one of these cars. It just...
Let's have a look from this side. There's the tap.
See that?
There's a little bit of debris from the contact. And the Mustang just smashes into the wall.
That is one serious accident.
But that tyre wall has absorbed the energy and bounced the car. It hasn't pulled it right into the wall.
And that's where Paul Radicic had a problem a couple of years back.
2006. Just tags the Mustang. It just catches the end of that tyre wall. And that's one of the cars that the Tilly boys prepare in TCM, but it has been severely junked.
Stephen Johnson really good in the middle sector, which is this long back straight up the hill to turn 6. It's a big brake lock up from Jason Gomersall. It's still going, and he's in the fence. Enormous impact. The big mate Tirana has gone in hard. That was a long, long brake lock up. Just did not get the car stopped and turned in. He's gone into the tyres hard. Will be under safety car straight away. A big impact for Jason Gomersall.
That is the second big impact for this car, prepared by Matt Stone Racing. And that tyre wall has claimed another car. The big mate Tirana, he steps out. But man, is there some damage to the number 35 Tirana.
So the Vodafone safety car will grab the field. The bigger story is making sure that Jason is okay. You could see him climbing from the car. Medical teams in attendance very, very quickly. Jason just jumping into the left rear door of the team medical Commodore, so he's good. These cars are very strong. They might be old retro race cars, Matt, but they've got absolutely modern, up-to-date safety standards. Roll cages, the seat, all of the driver protection is very, very strong. And he's been able to climb out of that. What an impact.
We saw it from the onboard, didn't we? A big cloud of white smoke. Interesting to see what actually happened. Here we go. White and red Tirana in shot. Lock the left front. It just went on and wait for the impact. Similar to what we saw with Golding's impact last year on lap 1 during the 500.
And Will Davison and Michael Caruso back in 2010 at the same point. It's claimed some cars that corner. That was huge. This was the view we're watching live. So enormous brake lock up and just couldn't get the car turned in, and crunch. Just did the 180 in the air when it was in the fence. Check this out.
Man, it's pushed the arm car in at the back, so it's gone right into a tyre wall that's 4 levels deep. Remember Simon Wills had a rollover there back in the warm-up session, 2004, I think that was.
Almost ended up over the fence.
Yeah.
Willsy, another look at speed. So it's a 265km/h approach to that corner in a Touring Car Masters car, even on the opening lap of a race. It's quite a big break, and they slow the cars to about 165 k's an hour. At turn 6, look at the air.
Keep in mind, that crash he had at Winton, this team burnt the midnight oil to get that car repaired for Darwin. They're strong, but they have their limits.
There was an enormous rebuild after that unfortunate crash at Winton, where he spun coming out of turn 1 and was collected by 7 or 8 cars there. The Matt Stone Racing team who prepared this car did a huge job to get it fixed. There is Matt and the team watching on. And Jimmy Stone as well, heavily involved in this program. It's one of the nicest and best prepared cars, and Jason, such an enthusiastic supporter and a guy that's come on leaps and bounds in his driving, Matt, over the last couple of years, working closely with Todd Hazelwood. Todd actually does the stickers on the Matt Stone Racing fleet. They're going to have to put some new vinyl on that car to make it looking pretty for Bathurst. Big impact. So there's a big repair here. So there's some safety considerations to take into place. The Armco barrier will need to be checked, and those tyres will need to be put back in place. And we're understanding that this race has been declared. Exactly what happened. Quick approach. There's the HQ expiring. Oh, and there's Tom, the 20-year-old, into the fence quite hard.
To the green flag, and it waves down. We're underway in the final race of the Touring Car Masters. Cam Tilley decides to cut the lawn on the outside of pit straight, but Tony Karafalowski will take this into the centre chicane for the first time. Contact in the middle of the corner, and Brad Tilley lucky not to go around.
That's a better catch than the Aussie Slips caught in that. He's caught it. That's not great, though. Terry Lawler, big damage into the fence hard. There's a couple of cars involved. Jim Richards, Brett Youlden, and Cameron Tilley, who got a good start in the pacer. Gomesal's caught up. Big damage, safety car, and a long clean-up ahead.
And watch it all. It's one of those moments here where, nowhere to go. That's just total bad luck.
So there was nothing Jim could do in that. Brett Youlden's escaped some damage. So too Gomesal. So it was all teeing off in front, but great catch for Tilley and Mason. And Lawler was just across hard right on the road into the fence, and then him rebounding across.
It's the centre chicane, and now Cam Tilley thought he had a place to get through, and then he drills the side of Terry Lawler's car.
I think people will look at that and go, oh, jumbled up Greasy.
The word down the back straight, getting connected with Ryle Harris, and it shows you the speed these cars carry at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Lucky not to have more cars in, several cars taking to the grass on the right.
Around there on the exit of his contact with Abel Nika, and now King's involved. Big damage here on the straight.
That's an enormous crash. There must be a dozen cars involved. Sven Boykart's in the Porsche. Oh, look at that. It's a wrecking yard. And an expensive one at that. Huge damage to the front of the...
Actually, no, he's just the innocent victim in this party. So Chick with some oversteer on the entry to turn 8, tried to catch it, overcorrected. And the hit with the wall on the outside there was hard, but not too hard. But that secondary hit was massive. And a lot of damage.
Did the 180 in the air when it was in the fence. Check this out.
Man. Let's push the arm car win at the back.
És 100 fölfele. 100 fölfele, jobb 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-re bal 2 szűk, bal 2 szűk, és bal 2, és bal 2, majd 50-re jobb 2, itt a bal 2, és 50-re jobb 2, majd szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra. Szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra.